Hi there BookTube, it's Eleanor here and it's time again for my June TBR now. It seems like TBR time comes around quite a lot and this month I've got another rather large TBR, but I'm quite happy with that. I'm not going to go through the NetGalley review books that I want to get through this month because I will talk about them as and when I get to them, but I want to talk to you about all the buddy reads I've got planned and the books that I also want to read. So let's get on with it. The first book that I'm reading is a buddy read with the wonderful Yamini from Skeptical Reader and Patty from I Smell Books, and we are going to be reading Eleanor Catton's The Luminaries together. I think I've only got this on my Kindle, but as you can tell I've got quite a lot of books, so I may have to have a scout to see if I've got it in paperback as well, but otherwise I will be reading it off of my Kindle and I'm looking forward to reading this. It's quite a big book, so it's quite intimidating, but what a great buddy read, because that'll hopefully help us to plough on through. I think it's kind of a mystery type story. I think Eleanor Catton is a New Zealand writer and this book's sort of highly acclaimed, so I'm really excited to get to this one. Next, with Tanya from the List Obsessed Reader, we're going to be reading Half Resurrection Blues by Daniel Jose Older. This came in our Book Riot quarterly box and we decided we were going to give this a go together, so it looks like just a fun paranormal fantasy type read and I think it'll be good fun to read with someone else. The next book I originally planned to read with Nicole from Dorker Brain, and I'm still reading it with her, but there's been quite a few people that have shown interest, and so we've got a little group going on. I think there's about 5 of us, and we're going to be reading Tipping the Velvet by Sarah Waters. I read my first Sarah Waters book a few months ago. I read Fingersmith and I absolutely loved it, so I really want to get to more of hers. I own them all now, so we're going to be trying to read one a month, and this month is going to be Tipping the Velvet. It's very possible that I've already started this book because I'm reading it the very first week of this month with the Book Fox, and we are reading We Were Liars by E. Lockhart. She is currently in the Highlands of Scotland, far, far away from any type of internet connection, so we're going to try our best to communicate as well as we can, but I'm excited to read this with her, and I think it will probably be quite a quick read because it's quite small, but I think what a great buddy read. I've heard there's lots of twists and turns, and I think that would be great to be sort of, you know, trying to predict what's happening together. Next, with a subscriber called Michelle, I'm going to be reading After by Anna Todd. This is sort of a, I think it's meant to be sort of an erotic fiction, or a, you know, well, yeah, I think it's fan fiction of Harry Styles fan fiction that was done on Wattpad and then became really popular, and it's sort of erotic fiction, so I've heard some really good things, and I like a bit of fun sexy times, so I'm looking forward to reading this with her. And if I get through this and I really enjoy it, and I've heard there may be some cliffhangers, I have also got the other 3 books in the series, so I can read all of them if I want this month. We'll just have to see. Next, with fellow booktuber Dawn Kurtagich, whose channel is Writaholic DK, and she's also an author who I'll tell you about a bit more in a minute. I'm going to be reading The Walls Around Us by Nova Ren Suma. I'm really excited to read with her. She's so much fun, and she's just such a great booktuber. You should definitely check out her channel, and I'm looking forward to reading this with her. And that's all the buddy reads, but I am going to be reading, as I mentioned, Dawn Kurtagich's book, The Dead House. This is a YA. I'm not sure if it's meant to be sort of horror, but it sounds really interesting. It's about sort of a high school. I think there was a fire or a sort of a tragedy, and it's about some paranormal activity that's happening, and I'm going to be doing something a little bit different with this book, so watch this space for a video about that, but I'm definitely going to be reading this towards the beginning of the month. And next is a book that I want to read because I just really fancy it, and it was sent to me by another wonderful booktuber whose channel is Hannah Books and Beauty. We did a book swap and she sent me Life on the Refrigerator Door by Alice Coopers. It's a book that's written entirely in post-it notes that are put on the fridge door between a mother and daughter, and I believe the mother gets cancer, and we follow sort of the emotions and the things that happen through these post-it notes, and it just looks like a really really quick read, but I've heard it's really good and I'm excited to give this a go. For my non-fiction book this month, I'm going to be reading Scout, Atticus and Boo, A Celebration of To Kill a Mockingbird, in preparation for Go Set a Watchman coming out next month. And I was sent this kindly by Penguin as part of their To Kill a Mockingbird reread, and I can't wait. It's essays from different people talking about how the book changed their lives or how the book has affected them. There's people like Oprah Winfrey, James Patterson, Anna Quindlen, Wally Lamb, to name just a few, and I think I can read sort of one of these an evening, and yeah, I'm looking forward to this. I'm not going to go through all of these, but I haven't had a chance in May to read any of them, so I'm really disappointed in myself. But June, I'm going to still add them to my TBR. I want to get through them. You can go back to watch my video on the Women's Fiction Prize if you want to find out a little bit more about this. But these are all books that were either on the long list or winners of it previously. So just briefly, there's The Girl Who Was Saturday Night by Heather O'Neill, The Life of a Banana by P.P. Wong, The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller, Bel Canto by Anne Patchett, The Ice Cream Star by Sandra Newman, and The Paying Guest by Sarah Waters. I'm definitely going to try and get to this one next month because it is my real life book club at Waterstones pick for July, so I need to get through this before sort of the middle of July, so I might read this next month or at the very beginning of July at the least. I'm not going to pick from my diverse jar this month because I am going to be reading quite a few diverse books in my Women's Fiction Prize, including Life of a Banana by P.P. Wong, or Ice Cream Star. So I've got quite a lot of diverse books, so I'm not going to have to pick one for my jar for that. But I am going to be picking my BookTuber Recommends pick of the month, so I can't wait. Right, let's see what it is. What's the bet? It's a huge one. Oh, I don't mind. I'd just be excited to see what it is. This one. Ah! Graceling by Kristen Kashur. This is my copy of Graceling, and it was picked for me by the wonderful Sarah Churchill, so I can't wait to read this and see what I think of it. I've heard good things. I think it's part of a series, but I think you can read this and then there's sort of books that sort of go with it but aren't part of the series. They're sort of companion novels, so I'm looking forward to seeing what I think of this because I have heard quite a lot of people talk about it and say how good it is. And then for my final TBR book this month, I have asked my friend Sam from Cold Tea and Crumbs, as I do every month, to pick from a few books for me. I've given her 4 to choose from. I'm really feeling a bit of contemporary romancy type books, so I've given her 4 to pick from, and I haven't heard back as of yet, but I'm sure I will hear back before the beginning of the month because I'm filming this a little bit early. So I'm going to show you all 4 books and then it'll be a surprise as to which one she picks. So the choices I've given her are 5 Summers by Una LaMarche, The Bermuda's Triangle by Maureen Johnson, The List by Siobhan Vivian, and Blue by Lisa Glass. I'm just editing my TBR, and Sam has got back to me and she has picked Blue by Lisa Glass. So from those 4 books, I'm going to be reading Blue by Lisa Glass this month. So that's all the books that I have on my TBR for this month. I have got some NetGalley books I want to get through. As I said, I'll talk to you about those as and when I read them. And should I get through all of those books, there is so many books on my shelves to be reading. It's ridiculous, and I always have library books, so there'll always be a few extra books in there as well. But I'm excited about this month's TBR. There's some really a good range of books. I've got some really good sort of YA dystopian, some good YA contemporary, I've got a nice non-fiction, I've got some fantasy, I've got some adult contemporary. I think I've got a really nice range, so I'm really pleased, and I've got some really great buddy reads planned in. So yeah, I look forward to all of those. Let me know if you've read any of these, what you're reading this month, and I look forward to speaking to you soon. Bye for now, BookTube.